All right, welcome back, everyone. This is another episode of Behind the Screen with the Goal Driven Team. And today we have a special student edition because we have our first intern that has joined Goal Driven Counseling here with us today, Christian Shields. Hey, Christian.
Hello, everyone.
We are so excited to have Christian. Let me tell you. So, Christian and I connected on social media probably about a year ago, and it was just a Facebook connection. She had a banner on her Facebook page that talked about her My Secrets Purpose conference, and the profile was just very attractive, and I was very drawn in as to what's My Secrets Purpose? What is this? So we connected. Just I don't remember who hopped in who DM first, but it was like, hey, we both social workers. We both like are doing very, similar work or have similar focuses in our work. And we just connected through social media. Months later, Christian pops back up and she was in school and ready to do her practicum or intern, which for you all that don't know, when you're going through social work programs, you have to do an internship like on site with a organization in order to graduate. And so Christian reconnects and she talks to me about interning, and it wasn't something that I had really considered greatly yet with goal driven counseling, but being someone who has really supervised practicum students in other locations, I was like, oh, that's a great benefit, and we could definitely use that here. But private practice with interns is not something that's typical. When I tell you all, Christian advocated and she fought for the ability to do her internship with Goal Driven. It was another kind of just barrier that we are completely virtual. So of course the school is like, girl, private practice with a completely virtual, like how's this going to work? Right.
Yeah.
But she advocated, we provided the information that was needed and it got approved. And she has been with us ever since. So, welcome, Christian. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So, hello, everyone. As Melissa already stated, I already have my bachelor's in social work.
Mhm.
And a lot of the things that I've done with my degree was to pretty much focus on building a private practice myself. So, I started off with coaching and wellness and helping people kind of gain strategies to come to terms with themselves. I realized that a lot of people were struggling with like self-awareness and going through a lot of their healing journeys. And I found that was an area that really stuck out to me, and I enjoyed talking about it and doing that work. And so a lot of the things that I do, even under My Secrets Purpose, is helping people to kind of navigate through those transitions, helping them get comfortable with their own voices, finding out what healing path they're on, and just really learning to love and engage with themselves in a healthy
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
way.
That's so cool. And that was one thing I didn't mention in the introduction is that Christian has a really awesome combination with her background. So she has a master's in business administration and she's, continuing her social work degree, which I talk a lot about just social entrepreneurship and us as social workers having such transferable skills. And so Christian coming in to intern with us, like I am completely honest, she helped me as much as I help her. And
Yes.
I really appreciate that about this relationship. So you hear the heart of Christian, which transitioned us into just talking about more how she wants to identify and package herself as a developing and future clinician that she is. And she's decided that she wants to be the healing therapist. So, Christian, tell us about that vision and what it means for you to be a healing therapist.
For me, to be a healing therapist is it's a layered sort of thing, right? Because when I think of healing, it goes beyond giving me an affirmation. It goes beyond telling me I just need to set this up or do this, and then I'm gonna get these drastic changes. For me, becoming a healing therapist meant that I had to be willing to identify as being a person that is multifaceted, a person that is multi-passionate, a person that has multiple skills. And knowing that I have that, I had to learn how to integrate all the different aspects of me to still see myself as being whole, to see myself as being enough, and kind of learning how to transition things over. And I want to kind of touch on when Melissa said that I have my MBA. Here's the thing, like I had my MBA, but I still felt unfulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that moment where I realized that, degrees don't really make me. I am the degree type of moment. And I wanted to figure out, yes. And I wanted to figure out like, okay, so if I wasn't fulfilled in just gaining a degree and I wasn't happy in doing what I felt like I should be doing or what folks felt like I could be doing or what I was capable of, I had to find out what was blocking me. What were those barriers? What was making it hard for me to identify with myself? And I went into a mode where I had to completely learn how to, shut down, how to, turn back on. But in that process, what does it look like for me to actually take what I was struggling with and what I was good at and to merge those two things together to create what I felt was my true life's purpose? And that was what I found out was my secrets had to heal. That meant everything that I struggled with, everything that, and when I say everything, I do mean everything. Remember, I said we are layered. So I had to do a deep assessment of myself to find out what that really looks like. And so I'm excited to take that personal journey along with what I know about establishing things and foundations and business structures and merge those things together to create a practice that it can help other people heal in a healthy way, of course.
Yes. Oh, Christian, when I tell you y'all been bringing it every week, every week. Two things that really stuck out to me like chills go down my arm every single week when I hear y'all talk, because y'all heart and passion just comes out in these conversations. Two things I heard you say that really stuck out that I want you to touch on a little bit more. One, I heard you say that you had to get comfortable with identifying and realizing the need to pivot within your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so being unfulfilled and what that means and what does that look like for me next. And then the second thing that I heard, the pivot, I think you explained really, really well. The second thing I heard that I want you to talk to a little bit more is, it sounds like to me, and we know this to be true, that to be healers, to be therapists, to partner with people in their most intimate of times and be invited into the secrets that they might not have shared with other people or may not even have come face to face with in themselves.
Yeah.
To be an effective healer, I heard you say that you had to heal.
Yeah.
Tell me about the importance of healing as a healer.
So I'm gonna hit the first question first about pivoting. And I think that one of the things that I feel people are very uncomfortable with, because I was at first, was realizing that it was okay to pivot. It was okay to make a change. It was okay to find a new path and to take it. I think the hardest thing for me was wondering what would that look like for other people. So I was trying to think for outsiders. And in that moment, I had to learn that, was that healthy? Was that healthy for me to think for an outsider? Was it best for me to think about what it would look like for me in the future and what my own personal goals were? And I chose me. Mm-hmm. So that's how we pivoted.
Always choose you in the pivot is what I hear.
Period. Okay. Because I had to do the work. I'm the person that has to put forth the effort to make the change, to go deeper into my studies. And, I'm the one that had to do it. So I had to decide, I had to choose me. Mm-hmm. And the second question about healing, like, I think it's very important when we talk about healing as a therapist and why I feel like that was important for me. Here's the biggest part that I learned is that, yes, I have to be a healed therapist in order to help other people heal, but I also had to remember that I'm a layered person. Mm-hmm. So in some capacities that I'm going to heal in some areas, and then there are still areas of me that I still have to grow. So I'm not like this damaged being, but I am a person that can grow in stages and grow in phases and allow my experiences and my journeys to transform and grow with me, instead of feeling like I gotta have it all together. Because if I continue to like live in that perfection and I gotta have it together mindset, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I wouldn't be as effective as an intern, because I would still feel like I have to get this or that together. And the reality is that's a rabbit hole. You'll never have it all together, but you will grow from certain things. You'll get a greater mindset, greater insight. You'll become a better version of yourself. And I chose to plant my feet in the growing path. And so that's what it looks like to be a healing therapist, not having it all together, growing together.
Yes, yes. And addressing each of the layers as they come.
Absolutely.
Mm. Oh, girl, that's good. So good. Tell us, so you advocated for this, you fought for this. Tell us, what has it been like for you to intern with a completely virtual private practice so that other students can be pulled into the just different experiences that can be out there for them during their practicum and intern phases?
So I think I want to start off by saying, from the initial conversation we had on Facebook, it was like Melissa was not on board at first, y'all. Let me just tell you. It was like, okay. And so I learned that like that is her processing it, right? So it started with like, okay, I think we can do this. Have you thought about this? So it did come off as like dating Melissa a little bit, letting her get to know me getting to know her, and really building a foundational relationship and learning. Because y'all, even though I was a good advocate for what I wanted and I knew what I wanted to go after, I knew I wanted a private practice, I knew I wanted to eliminate location barriers, which is what being online does. But what I didn't know is the business of having a private practice. And the other aspect of it was I was very goal driven. Here's the thing, y'all. Like, advocating for this role in this position really took a little more of me kind of sitting down and becoming a student to learn that, one, I had to realize that being in school is one thing, but advocating for what my goals were is another. Because the school really had like a practice set up. It has its foundation. It's been doing things a long time this certain way. So when I approached my Philly liaison about having this role, he was like, So I'm like, oh, it's like dating Melissa again, So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, okay, so listen, I had to go pull out those core competencies of social work. I had to pull out, like, oh, but we got dignity and worth. What about my self-determination? I had to use the social work on the social workers. Okay. And, like, it was really advocating for that. And y'all, after just diligence of it was about 8 months, like going kind of back and forth and like talking about, okay, we can do this. Can you send this information? Can you send that? It was finally approved. And I just think the biggest thing is, if you know that it's something that you want to do as a social worker and you want to advocate for this profession, I think it's important to make sure that your voice is heard. We talk a lot about making sure the clients are heard, and we get a lot of training in making sure that we are skilled and culturally competent. But y'all, think about yourself and allow yourself to like plant your feet and be firm in what can happen. Be the change. And I kept that on the forefront of my mind. I was like, I'm not getting another degree where I come out and I don't have what I want out of it. And I just kept that, and I stayed with that. And Melissa has been very great in like helping me to transition into becoming a clinician. Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? How do I navigate through this world? How do I engage? What things do I need to study? What do I focus on? And, it was just beautiful, because although I was strong in my goals, I still had to learn a lot of different things about being able to be that person to provide services. So I know that was a little long, but
no, that's okay. And I love that you threw like the processing piece in there. And let me clarify, I was not against it. And this is the perspective that I want to add here that I think can be helpful for students to know, especially when you're working directly with a business owner, right? Yeah. So when you're interning at like a different kind of business or nonprofit or organization, typically the interns are not day to day with the CEOs and the directors. It's other staff that's taken on that facilitation. And so I think a key thing of what you said that is so necessary, and I think students need to realize this, is that you do have to build a relationship first. Because especially with the world of social media now, like we get inboxes about some of everything, and people, pulling and asking of you in different ways. And it's important that I think students realize from a field instructor space, we're investing so much into the student. You know, our weekly time, our weekly meetings, and then making sure that you're meeting your learning goals and making sure that we are providing you with what you need. And you know, so it's really an investment. So I love how you shared that you became invested as the student in that relationship building, you know, called it dating me. I like that. You know, being invested in that relationship building, and then again, advocating for what you wanted on the other side. And I'm just always just kind of taken aback because of the opportunities that come to goal driven before I feel like we're ready for it. And I think that's the response that I think you got is like, whoo, we only, you know, not even, we were just into year 2 and you talking about an intern and me taking somebody under my wing to teach this, you know. So it was more like, okay, wait, I know this is great. I've done it for other places, but it's goal driven ready for it. And, you know, I love that we built that relationship and that we figured this out because it's been a beautiful thing. And I have been so just excited to continue to work with you and help you to reach those goals that you have for yourself. So thank you for being so persistent. You're so silly.
It has been
Yes.
great.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for this. This has been awesome. You dropped some really great things about just knowing what you want, advocating for yourself, being comfortable with communicating, and in some ways demanding what it is that you want. I love how you said, I did not want to get another degree without the experience that I wanted, you know, because that comes with student loan debt or just time or commitment. And so I love that you are very clear about what you want. I want to encourage any other student that might be listening to this, or for some of my professionals, to share this with your students so that they realize, even as students, your voice, what you desire, your goals, who you're developing to be, what that looks like, it matters from the beginning. Right. And the intern experience and practicum experience needs to reflect that. Right. So thank you for coming and sharing with us the heart of you as a future clinician, to be a healing therapist, and just everything that, all the great things that you're going to contribute to the profession.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.